Okay, to everyone that's going to see this video, I say hello, and I will also tell you I'm working with Indie Ink tonight on a painting that I started in color, obviously right here. It's the color version, and that's the reference. So what I decided to do is the demo would be so much faster to show it in black and white. So I made that choice. And I also want to be more accurate. I'll explain more as I go. But this is how to paint fur, and it's on illustration board. And I will wait for some people to come on. In the meantime, I got everything ready here, and I just have to put probably the medium ink. I'm not sure yet. I gotta discuss that once I get it going. All about the inks. So I'll be using the Micron. As soon as I untangle the hose, it's the custom Micron side bottle. And possibly the HP Plus, HPSP side bottle. All right, so I got a piece of copy paper up here. That's the color version there. Get that up for testing, just testing the spray and all. And so this is obviously, let me move the inks out of the way now. All right. So what I decided to do here is I was working on this, and I knew I had to show you guys, more on how to do the fur. Let me just tilt that up a little bit. There we go. So I decided to get this to be, I'm going to do this over. That's what I'm trying to say. Get this to be more accurate here. The original layout on here was probably close to this drawing, which, comes from the hinged method and a piece of carbon graphite paper behind it. And I took my time and accurately put it in, but on this one, somewhere along the way, practicing and working on it, I've lost my map, which is this drawing. Okay, so I thought, let me work on the illustration board and do something faster than multiple colors and all that. It just is going to be showing how to do the fur. But so the ink is made by Timothy Luke John Smith, and this is a medium India ink. He now has the official labels, and the bottles have changed a bit, but it has the eyedropper in it, and he mixes up different mixtures. He'll have the dark mixture there. And that's full-blown, probably India ink black. And then somehow he has a light mixture, and you have to treat it very, careful when you're working on it, because the light mixture is just that. It's light, and it will spider on you and things like that. But You just have to keep the air pressure low. And if you go on inkflingers.com, okay, I'll put a link hopefully at the end when this live feed is over. I should be able to put a link. I know how to attach them, but anyway, I have his inkflingers.com attachment, hopefully, to put up there. But it's you can buy all this stuff from Tim, and he has a YouTube channel and the whole 9 yards. He's a teacher, a great artist, and he will take you from black and white right into color, from oil paintings right into airbrushing, uh, you know, and he's just excellent. So check him out. And in the meantime, let's get started with a little. I'm going to go with the light mixture. I haven't used these in a while. I've been working with color. So, hello, Michael. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. So, the only way I'm going to know anyone's here is because on Facebook it has like icons. You could see little like people's, just that it might be a few people you know. But here it's just either you comment or you sit in the background. But anyway, hopefully we can get something done. This is how I paint fur. Forever learning. A teacher and a student. I will be a teacher and a student for forever. Always learning. So what I taught a few years ago, I might have learned something new and changed things up a bit. That's part of the growth of being, in the airbrush world or any world. Color pencils, oil paints, it's all good. We're always learning. So just flushing out some 4012 reducer. Stored the brush a little bit a couple days ago in that. Just a little bit. Okay, so now I want to get, I want to see how the light mixture behaves. I might go right to the medium. Again, this is in a nice little bottle here, and it has the eyedropper. Make sure, I've spilled before. Make sure you put that lid back on, because you're taking, that's not a very good surface. You're taking the lid off, and you're using the eyedropper. And I left that loose like that, and my hand hit it, and I lost almost a whole bottle of black. So anyway, and don't forget to, agitate, shake this mixture. And then you just, can add it to your gun. You don't have to put a ton in there. And I'll just test it on the side. So there's 3 mixtures here. If you go on his site, Tim's website, you'll find he has additional things since I've been messing with the inks. He's added a lot of stuff. And he does things different than I'm going to do it. So I didn't even get any in the cup, whatever that was. I guess I didn't have enough in the, I didn't tilt the bottle or something, but anyway. Put more in the gun. Putting some in the gun as opposed to none. All right. I'm just testing it down below for a second here just to make sure that she's spraying through. This light mixture might be, no, it's there. Give me a second, guys. I'm trying to. All right. Something is not working on that. Maybe the bottle was kind of low. I don't like that much in the bottle. I mean, in the cup. Got too much. Way too much. So let me get this going here. Okay. So I'm going to move the color one out of the scene here. I'm going to have a black and white reference right now, which will help me, um, have my darks and lights correct and all. I think it's back here. All right, so there's the black and white. Tim, how you doing, buddy? Color Graphics, how you doing? All right, welcome everybody. And to anybody that I don't know that's on here, hello. Glad to have you. All right, so if you go on and you watch some videos, and you can actually be taught privately by him and Tim, meaning, and all that, you might find yourselves, learning things that I'm not going to show you here, obviously, because he uses white. He'll put white down and stuff. What I'm going to do is basically what I did when I first got his inks. So this is illustration board, okay? And let's get that up here. Roy, Mr. Roy is here. Hi, Roy. All right. So this is actually, I know I got a lot of tape on the back of this because I have it mounted on the wall for my studio. CS10 board, right? Made by Frisk. They're no longer in business. And if they ever come back, I'd still buy the product. It's illustration board. It's a plated paper, but it was what, everybody used back in the early 90s and definitely the 80s and all. I'm not sure when they went. I think they had a fire and that was the end of the factory or whatever. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but they're gone. So anyway, this is all India ink. I might have used a little bit of Createx black in some areas to speed the process up again, because it takes time to build the darkness. And so I didn't use like any white to bring out highlights. I just erased to the board, and that's what I was looking for. But if you go on Tim's tutorials and all, you'll see the process. And he actually avoids the color shift by putting down Createx white first, if I'm not mistaken. And then once he works around that, because you can't spray the white on a dark, so you have to have the white waiting. I just have the white of the board. All right, so let's see how it goes. Some of the tools that you can use for subtracting paint, right? Ink, in this case, is the aggressive eraser, the Tombow, which is a soft eraser, and Tombo's other one that's more like a chisel. The way it's like a Pez dispenser. It's a little rectangle, but I kind of carved it into a chisel. Okay, so those are some of the tools. There is the X-Acto knife you can use, and that kind of stuff. But and then the control of the airbrush and your freehand skills. So move the bottle out of the way, and let's see. Oh yeah, I did use a kneaded eraser, which is on the floor. I just picked it up. Okay, so this is a really good one. I don't remember the brand, but some of them are really lousy where they start to look like soft clay, But anyway, if you flatten this out, you can lighten your drawing by just sweeping over the top of it. And, because when you're using the graphite paper, it can get pretty dark. So I already have a pattern here. If you look, I actually carefully colored in when I had the picture on top. I carefully, because it's hard to find all the map, like a dark area. I could put the letter D there, but there's so much going on here, and I'm trying to get closer to the photograph. And so because of that, I want the fur to be kind of exact. You can go loosely and do it your own way and get close. That's fine too, because his fur is going to move if you pet him, right? And all that kind of stuff. But in the meantime, I have it laid out pretty accurately. And the little darkness that you see there is just to give me a little guide of where I want to go with this. So let's just start and see if my light area, my light gray will work for me. Very low air pressure. Test it on here, right there. It's very light ink. I don't know how Tim does it. You know, if you put water in some kind of India ink, he has a special mixture. You know, he's got it down to a science. So I do like what I'm getting there. To start off using the black straight out of the bottle, you know, the dark mixture, that's too dark. So you want to go in layers. You want to build up your areas. So I'm gonna do it the Drew way, where get the joint of the finger in there, low rider trigger, soft spring. I've been trying it more and more lately, and see the problem is this side bottle for demos. I wish I had a B model actually, because then I could do the side thing and not have this hit. But for because I usually would paint like this, right? That's not going to get in the way. But for demos, especially on a small project like this, I kind of have to turn it a little, you know, so you guys can see what I'm doing. And for that reason, the bottle could hit the surface. So let me get a few adjustments here. There's no way I can adjust that. So I'm going to be just flinging ink, right? Let's just do some big areas. Whoops, move that away from the picture there. It really flows incredibly well. I mean, you're talking about just a whisper, and it's so different than paint. So you just have to. Now I am trying to map this out and work in the shapes that you see there. So let me just get something going here, and then I could adjust my air pressure accordingly. All right. But you'll see things happen. Give it a chance. It takes a little time, but you'll see things happen rather quickly. I do like the handle on, so I'm going to do that. I think I might give myself a little more air pressure. Yeah, just a little bit more. That's not too bad. So let me put some in. Well, let's do this. Before we really go after the fur, let's get the eye established. I am going to treat this like a complete painting. I know I'm just going to demonstrate the fur, but to have a black and white of this won't be bad either, right? So I'm just going to put in. Now, the cut is wrong on that. You could see. Let me bring it closer. I made a slip up on the cut, and I cut it way too far. But if you notice the patch of a frisket that I put back on there to capture this, I'm going to pin it down. And again, I'm not using the black right now. I'm just going to use this light mixture. Air dry it. Take your time. I remember, Tim, you always said, if you're still on here, he has the 1 second rule, I think it's called, which basically means in a second, things can change. Now, it's not even fitting in there exactly, so I have to shift it a little bit like that. My main thing was this was set for the actual, yeah, that's better. Okay, there's a piece of frisket on the highlight, but on the other highlight, there's none. So I'm going to dust in and establish the area. That would be the darker areas over here, and they're going to just be light right now. I'm going to let this flutter. So let me go off to the side a little. I don't care if it, I can have it pinned a little bit, but I don't want a hard edge there. Matter of fact, I just want to ghost this in. Okay. Because I don't have to think about color right now, that's an advantage to somebody watching this, because we're not worried about, different warm colors and cool colors, and it's already, it's just you're just working with values. And so I'm just doing that, establishing this really quickly. Now this on the color painting was just dark area, so it was kind of the same thing in that area. But when you start getting into all the color, such as all these mixtures here, we have to have accurate colors for what I'm trying to do. You can do it a lot more uh, transparent style, but I like to mix the exact mixtures. That's what I'm studying with the opaque color theory with the Drew Blair Classroom in a Box. It's just, I love it. And the transparent definitely plays into it, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so we got that established. I'll hit out here. I don't mind this curling because I get kind of a floating stencil then, and that's good because then I literally have a fuzzy edge, and that's what you got to pay attention to. You got to pay attention to the edges because the edges could ruin it very quickly. All right, so we have I do believe I took the light mixture. It almost looks like a darker mixture. Okay, well, for whatever it's worth. So I'm going to remove, no, I'll just split this on the back for now. All right. So let's get in. We'll do some erasing in a little bit. A little more freehand right here. Here's where we can do some erasing right here. Okay, air dry it. See, I'm getting a little fast. It will start to spider. It didn't do that on me, but it did start to make like a molted look. Just started to get a little ahead of myself here. I like to paint pretty fast, but if you have patience, you can put the darks on top of the other lighter versions areas, and then you'll get it. Okay, so I'll let that dry a little bit. This Frisk board, I took this piece from, because it's not for sale anymore. I took this piece from a painting that I had half finished that's old and never was going to continue on it. The reference is gone. And I cut it out of the board, and I'll be doing more and more of that from that painting. I'll even probably take the whatchamacallit, what I'll sand down the paint. Too much air pressure, so I'm gonna turn it down. See, I could mist over this. Let me do that right here. Kind of get into some of those spots. Now I've got my white covered. So let's see how this behaves as far as the soft eraser of the Tombow. All right, so we're gonna zoom in a little bit more. And we're going to remove, this will just help me keep that map going, the mapped out area, because this is blurry right here. This is not sharp fur. So you want to kind of take out the ink like that. This one is just a skinny little guy, but you can use shields and other things to make this happen. Just remove it. Then you can work around it later, Let's go in here. In here, there's all little freehand stuff that I can add, but that's a good example of, even this has some overspray on it. These little shapes. Some you can't get into so easily, so you can use another type of eraser. Cleaning this on the, and get the tip clean again by using the copy paper. So you can see them starting to pull out right there. Okay. It's like if you do a portrait and you lay it out carefully, you have to get the person's face right. If you're excellent at drawing, then that's great because you can just draw it from your freehand skills and your mind. But if you are not, unzoom here because I'm just kind of bouncing around, sorry. Okay, I see some comments. Whoops, sorry. It's the zoom on, the zoom on, give me a second here. It's super sensitive. That's good enough for now. Mr. Stephen Leahy, hello there. Jesse's, how you doing? Somebody's waving there. Great. Okay, so you have to have patience because obviously this is going to take a little time. But right here, I can almost map it out. I'll take a pencil. I see the shape, and it is going to be very dark. So I could take. I was using a very light, probably. Let's see. I was using something like a. What was I using? A very hard. Except it's not here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I was using the Prismacolor 6H. The reason why I was using the 6H is when you start tracing down and you want to really not break the point because you're trying to put this shape right there. Of course, underneath it is the paper that Sally, the company Sally makes. But I have these shapes here already, so but that's the process. You slide the little graphite paper underneath and go for it, but I could kind of find this again. You start losing some areas. This is going to be a very skinny line right there. Get out of its way here. And this area kind of shoots out like that. So I'm making a change right now that I see with my own eye. And even here, this is a skinnier hair. So I'll just kind of do that. And I'll find those two areas. It's a little tedious, and there's many ways to paint the fur, but this is when you want to match the photo. I hope I'm not blocking. That's the problem with this small stuff, right? Just putting it, started the spider there a little, and that's very, very low air pressure. The lighter mixtures, I guess, do that more. So let's get some color in here. I'm going to say color by accident all night. Let's get some value in here. Start doing more shapes, larger shapes. Like right in here, I'm just going to tint it right in here. Out here. And then I do see this one here that's too much air. Got the Mac valve here, guys. Turn the air down. Use a little dot thing to find where I am. And then just fill it in. Not enough air. Kind of sculpting right now, getting the bigger shapes. I guess I can go over that a little bit more because all we're really looking at is this area. All right, let's fire in some, whoops, we don't want to paint on the painting, on the copy. These are skinnier. This one's real skinny here, so I'll just kind of work my way closer. Find that shape. Where is that? That's right there. Whoops. Started the spider on me. Okay. Yeah, Tim actually sells, I think it's a Patriot, custom Patriot correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, Airbrush that he swears by, and he has made it more, you know, to his liking, and people love it. They have, you know, if I had lots of money, I would probably buy all kinds of airbrushes just to have them in my arsenal, right? But I I have my mind set on the new Takumi. That's what I'm thinking about. It's not something I can afford, but I can dream. I can dream about it. I'll tell you what, when I used the B model that my friend had years ago, right out of uh, airbrush classes and stuff, oh my gosh, I love that brush. I don't know, maybe some of them come out of the factory better than others. That brush was wherever you put it. My eyesight was better back then though, but it was an amazing. This is a highlighted area, so I'm kind of just working my way up to it. Okay, so up here it gets darker. I'm just building on it. The extreme darks come later. So right now, I'm just going for this value. See, with color and stuff, I know from the painting that there's, you know, all kinds of probably mixtures of burnt sienna, burnt umber, and different colors that I mixed up, and that's a shadow cutting across the iris there. So you got to just kind of find the shapes and go for it. Like right here, it's kind of close-up stuff. Get the little details. It's got some things going on in there, like little dots and marks and things. So it takes time to do that. This gets lost. This color here, whoops, it's getting a little too watery there. Okay, so this will actually just get lost in its own. You won't see that edge. Whoops, I'm moving some paint around there. Let me just blot that out there. This is going to be very dark, so I don't have to worry about that spot right there, my fingerprint, because it's going to be black there. Okay, so let's keep working these areas. I'll try to do that joint thing that Drew uses, this joint, so that when he's just pulling back like this, just less on the whole hand, and it does work. It's just that I don't have it down tight because I airbrushed this way all my life. But the more I use it for tight areas, the more I'm like, yeah, this is good right here, because you kind of can throw the paint right where you want it. Okay, I'm going to dust over this now, this area, because I can see through it. If there was a color, if this was a graphite drawing, you would use tissues and things like that to make this happen, and then you could erase into it. So a lot of the stuff that's in there are hairs that are back further, and they are recessed more. So let's take this off of here and bring this up closer. Talk about that for a minute. Okay, so we've got, I don't know if you can see it that good, but there's hairs that are almost not there. They're so far back. And there's the sharper ones that are brighter. And even some of them don't look like they were etched. You would etch them out with an X-Acto knife because they're just maybe a couple spots here and there, but they're really and truly a lot of them are kind of erased or airbrushed in carefully, because otherwise you're going to get, you know, just a bunch of scratches, and that doesn't cut it. So I'll just put this over here so I can just test the color out there. All right, so I'm going to dust in a little bit down here of shapes I see. And over here, this has some, I'm not going to worry about the pencil lines. But if I did want to worry about them, I know I'll end up keeping this, on the wall somewhere in the studio, and maybe even selling it, who knows? But the thing is, you can lighten your pencil line. You can remove them almost completely so that they're not trapped under a lighter value, right? And then you see the pencil line. So we're going to come back in here and clean that up, the lighter area. And you can use stronger erasing like this, and you can see the brightness. This is a soft eraser of that area. And I can kill the edge of that pencil line right there. And that, phone's shaking, sorry. This has a shape here. This has a shape here. So I'm drawing with the eraser, you know what I mean? Making fur. That's why I figured it'd be good to show how this can be done. I'm going to get a newer one of these guys. So as these wear out, they start getting rounded off. I saved some brand new ones for that chisel. I don't start cutting them up. Let me get one of these. Hopefully I have one. Okay. And I'm going to put this is not staying on here. That does not have it's too skinny or something. So I'll just get another pencil. I'll get this one. This one's pretty good, but this one's better. It's strong. It's got that brand new start. I get them at Hobby Lobby. They're made by Helix. All right. So then you could start kind of going in here and making marks that are out of focus, blur, just whatever is going on there. Then there's sharper ones that are in there. So let's say that, where was I going to use that? I was going to use that right in here. Let me put a little more ink down in this area. Like right here, I can go around that area and I can create that little light area, or I could erase it out. Because this almost looks like speed lines. I can do that with the darker color later. It looks blurry and like he's almost running or something. We can use this shield right here for this. Down here, I cut that out just to get in there. It's this little slice right in there where I'm pointing. And I'll check the comments in a minute. Let me just get this started. This is still the light color. Okay, so that's kind of just coming around the top there. And let's just like that. Okay, so we'll leave that for now. Just marking it off. It's nice working with one, just the inks, because especially for a beginner, man, you can eliminate the color, learning color. You could eliminate that part for a little bit in your journey, and you could just focus on the value, because value is the big guy that has to guide you even with your color. It has to, because if you go any other way, you're going to be too dark, or with the correct color you have mixed. I don't care if it's transparent, whatever. You've got to have that value correct. Otherwise, so learning color can be done, but maybe throw this in there too, you know? And if you like the inks, then go on Tim's thing and really learn how he treats it, and you know, because he's got it down to a science. Because you start spraying the black in there, and it's not going to be too easy to erase, that's for sure. So I'll put a little more tint over the bottom, and I'll pick out. Now this is where the subtraction method comes in, right? Where you pick out like that, and it becomes a soft, um, kind of a soft version. I'm trying to figure out this one. This one kind of goes like that, and then it breaks up here and goes that way. Okay, and then there's a lot of little guys in here that are, let's see if I could put a little one in a dark area. Well, this is brighter up here and brighter there, and then it disappears kind of in the middle. This is an out of focus one, so this will get treated kind of with round erasing to make it look blurry. Okay, I said I would check the comments. Let me do that. Because they don't pop up here unless I hit live chat comments. Yeah, I see your comment from a while ago, Steve. CS10 board was fantastic, and I would still buy it. I would still buy it because it has a tooth to it. It was really a strong board. It could take beatings, I'll tell you. So let's see. Well, you guys. Okay, I'm just going back over, looking at it. Bill, you look like that vet I'm starting. I look like a vet? Okay, Michael, explain that one. Hey, there's Bobby Silva. How you doing? All right, so yeah, let's go in no, not that close. Maybe the distance will be better, but we can go in a little closer. Yeah, I'll try that for a while. No, it's too close. Sensitivity on this cell phone is like, yeah, I can't just there. I can't just bring it in without it going all the way in or whatever. Okay, now that I got you guys all dizzy, how about that? So, all right. Then there's a lot of super light areas that will be out here. It looks like I airbrushed on there a little bit. That are just lends itself to spraying. You can't overshoot really. You know, I know these would be colors like tans and almost microscopic colors that are not. I don't even have mixed. I don't have any color. My colors are on the sideline right now, but where's that? Oh yeah, the color photograph right here. So there's colors in here, such as that one and that. They're like little gray tones, but they're not gray. They might have some color in it. And they're popping up. I see a little green reflection hitting the snout. It looks like it. A little green in there, yeah. Unless I sprayed it on there. I know. That's a blue shadow coming off where his head goes away. That looks like, because I can erase on the photos, that looks like I hit it right here. Yeah, so I'll use an older eraser right there. So I can find out what did I spray, and take that right off. And even in here, I wonder if that green was from me. I think it's in the photograph. Yep, it is. There's a little green in there. So you got to look for things to mimic them. That's got probably that color sprayed almost muted, like maybe some of that blue is there too. So anyway, color is a whole nother animal, but this is another way to speed up your process of learning how to use the airbrush and getting paintings done quick that could take a lot of time trying to learn color theory at the same time. Spraying over those fingerprints. They'll go away with the black or even the medium mixture probably. Here I can blur this edge of the iris just a little bit. I'm just letting a little bit of overspray hit it. Now it looks rounder. It has not a hard edge like a stencil. You want to get away. Stencils are great guides, but they're not, you've got to be able to get away from the edge is going to look bad if you don't. Let's just dust over this again here. Whoops, too much air. The light color. All right, so I'm going to put a little, you can't remove paint if you don't have it there. So I'm going to dust over this whole area lightly. And because I have the light version in, I can do that. Otherwise, you can't pull erasing out if you don't have some kind of paint down to pull out, right? Just second coating some areas. I know it's pretty dark here. I'll just kind of put it in. And here I'll just aim up and kind of push the paint into a feather stroke kind of thing. Like there. Went too far there, but because it's erasable, it's no big deal. I do have the painting down low on the shelf, so it's going to give me more problems trying to throw that paint. But that's right, 2 wet spots. Okay, so I got to be careful with the light mixture. Again, I'm going to spray over this up top even more. I'm still seeing where I want to pull things out that are accurate, because the whole top area is much darker. But if you can pull out while you're in the gray area or the lighter transparent area of color, and you still can see where you're going, I'll let that dry a little bit, then you're going to be in business, because you'll have, try to do it later on when it's super dark, you might not even get through it, it'll just start ruining things. But like, let's take the X-Acto knife for a second. And just see if, when you use the X-Acto knife, you have to use not the tip, not the tip part, but the side, probably somewhere, if I can get, I'm going to get an X-Acto knife to point. Okay, so you're really using, if I could block this, let me push it back. You're using probably that much. I don't know if you can see that tip's kind of hang. You're using this part right there, but on its side, kind of like, I'm not going to scratch like that. I'm going to come in and go, let's see, I'll just pull one out of here and hope that it's a good one. They cross over. I find that I get much better results when I go faster and get in a rhythm, like, there's only a few of these, though, that are in there that really are popping, and they're not really showing up. But just to say, like doing a graphite painting, I've showed this before in Facebook demos that are gone. I just want to show you how close this ink is and how it behaves with this the graphite. So I'll take this graphite, and I'm going to turn that on its side, and I'm going to use the side of the pencil here, just right in this area. Okay, so I'm going to just, the way I would put it on for, say, a graphite drawing like that. Okay, it's pretty dark. It matches up so nice. Then I could take, these are tortillions. They're wrapped. Tortillions are stronger than blending stumps, I think. You know, they have, the blending stumps are softer, but these are good for tight detail. So you take it out, and it's wrapped right in there. It's got the tight wrappings and that point. So for here, I would rather use a blending stump actually. Maybe even one that's a little older. Let's see. If I have a point, this is a blending stump. It's crushed. There's no wrapping that you can see. But I could come in here now. This is going to get this dark and maybe even darker, right? And I could blend that with this blending stump, just like I was doing a pencil drawing. And that's where we're going, and even blacker, because you can see it's even blacker than that. So let me just take, like an HB would be real, you know, the H stands for hard lead, the B stands for the H stands for hard and the B stands for soft, very soft. So I'm going to just press harder and show you how, with the black and white stuff, you can actually get away with, here's a tortillion. And you could blur the edges and you can really mess it up and make it look good. You know, now this has got lead on it, right? It's already got a little, so I could go in there and help myself in areas where this mixture didn't quite, I probably got to go to the medium. Let's find one more area that is accurate right here. I see this shape right here. And I see it going like that. So I'm just going to fill this in. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. So there's a lot of these shapes in there that then have a bunch of other shapes around it. This one kind of got lost again, so let's see. Because I am trying to keep this accurate. This one here goes like that. It kind of goes off by itself like that. But because I have the layout roughed in, I kind of can find where I was by just going in there like this and finding, you know, you can't do this on clayboard. Clayboard will not receive the pencil like this. I mean, you can, but this has tooth to it, this illustration board. So we'll stick with the airbrush, but you get the idea. You can hide, you can use both tools. There's the scratch marks that are hardly, there's a few in there, but even when you look at them, they look like they might be erased out a little bit, some of them. They got a little bit of a softer edge to it. So I'm going to take, remember I sprayed this on purpose. So I'm going to take the aggressive eraser and I'm going to do real quick move to kind of get like a dagger stroke, separating that area from the edge. And then I can get in tighter later. And this is kind of the white of the board. I'm not trying to use any white paint or anything because it will work. Let's find a line here. Aggressive eraser might not do it all because it's got a pretty fat point there too. Pressing harder there by that one. I see a lot of just quick marks in here that are high speed marks that you can just kind of do. I don't care if they land exactly where those are. There's things that I don't teach on here and I'm not going to. I'm going to do it privately. So That will not be taught on here, such as other things I do. That will be something that I'll do Zoom classes with. You can kind of see the marks that the other, values can go around. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to go to the medium mixture. Let's see how much we got in here. Nope, it's empty. That's good. A little water, distilled water, cleaning station, and let's see what we're at here. Chat. Talking about your dream car there. Huh? Nice. Oh, that's cool. Bobby, you got a Steve Leahy special coming, huh? Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so let's go to the next mixture. So what I'm going to do, probably on the video, is I'm going to remove this. This is clayboard, and I'm going to carefully take that off with probably Windex, but I'm going to tape off this area here, and I'm going to rework that area, but not on video, because you're seeing how I'm going to do it, but in color. It'll just be too much to keep going and going and going. Let's get this guy here and find some of these dudes. There's one there. There's one there. Little pieces of fur, right? Some of them are really skinny, and you can get in tighter later, but right now, some of them are fat, like this one. This is a fat one, and it goes this way. So I like to use the curve of my hand. And this guy up here kind of goes over this through. Slowly but surely, you'll find, I can also, I don't want to waste too much of these, but if I cut this off right there, I'll have an edge on that. That will be really great for super slivers and stuff like that. Trying to use the side of the blade. There we go. Seen a couple of these somewhere in here. Now that's not erased. That's erased out. Right about here, there might be one. And you have to make sure you go in the right way, or it'll skip. The X-Acto knife will skip. But I could do the highlighted ones later because they're not going to show up too good right now anyway. I've also carefully used the side of the, not to scratch a line, but to remove paint like that. I'm kind of like going around that shape. And I'm doing that out there. Let's try this one. It's a chisel. There's a long hair right here. There's one. This one's great. This one's strong. Very strong. This is very strong because it's thick. So you just carve it out with the X-Acto knife, shape it. So let's go over here and try to put some in. Turn this the same way and follow that pattern a little bit. Let's see. Got that one that's real strong, then you got this one that's fatter. So this is just a Tombow of a more rectangular type. And then this is a very strong one right here. If I go fast, I can get better results actually. And the hairs start going all different ways, and all of a sudden you start getting somewhere, you know what I mean? All right, so let's see if we got anything else up in here I can use this for down here. It's a little bit skinnier than that one, but clean that up on the outside. There's a lot of broken up areas in here where it just kind of has neat little shapes, like this little shape here, this little shape here. They all reappear and give it that look. So let's go to the darker mixture. Okay, again, the inks are on inkflinger.com. You've got HTTPS double dot, you know, the two, not, you know, the colon or whatever, I don't know what colon. And then the two slashes going backslashes. But anyway, I'm going to link it so you can just click on it. But in the meantime, don't forget to, just like with the Create text, don't forget to do that, especially these have been sitting around. That eye might be the one that I did. That might be from quite a while ago. So they just sit there. Every once in a while, I'll do that. I'll shake the paints up, you know, get them going that are just sitting for a long. Because I have, you know, some doubles of Create text and things like that that I do not want. So I'll shake. You know, I won't be using it, but I'll be shaking it to get something going there. When I do a black and white t-shirt, I treat this the same way, you know, where there's a big shape in here. So let's see, let's go right here, ignore those erase marks and just kind of cut in this big shape. If you squint your eyes, you can see the big shapes. That's a big shape right there. And now that'll get you to your next shape, you know, like right in here. Whoops, a little too anxious. Just, you know, going to this from, say, the Createx, you got to be very careful because I'm anxious to go quicker and Createx is going to, you know, be different. This is more watery. But you can get some fine results too. Sometimes it's just going to use more air pressure because I'm just going to take a chance because I'm used to that with the t-shirts where I can get that paint to come out of the gun, you know, at least my gun, how it's behaving, and go from there. So like that one is going to be tighter, so you can come in here, keeping it blurry, you can come in and make it smaller, like that. Now it's a skinnier shape. It even disappears right here a little bit, so let's just, you can probably do that more with the black. Gets real skinny right there. If you're trying to keep it looking like it, like, you know, paint by number kind of thing. And that's what I am trying to do on this one. I'm trying to have you look at this and recognize, oh wow, you know, some of those hairs are right where they're supposed to be. Okay, let's see what happens here. So we have the lighter gray, Now here, I'm going to mist over that. We have the lighter gray waiting. I feel better when I'm following a pattern. I can paint fur. I did this little demo last week. This was just nothing, just putting it together for you just to see how you can cut in here and get some fur to happen like that. Let me do a little more right here. Clean that up and get that to be brighter, like there, because this is transparent. And on the clay board, it's transparent, or all of the paints behave better later. That's just the way they are, meaning they need to dry a little bit. And then you can do your erasing. Then you could spray in around those shapes. You know, let's go here, take that out. This is the aggressive eraser. But you would be spraying back on top of it again, you know. So you get fur. Let's do a little in this area. The faster as you go, you can get some really nice stuff going on. Get stuff like that, cross-hatching. Not cross-hatching, but you get the idea. It's just go for it and then paint in there. There's a big highlight one there. Then you would come back at it, and I don't have my paints for this. I'm not going to put paints in the airbrush, but you would come back, you know, and then you could come in, and if it calls for it, and there's these kind of, you know, hairs that are in, you put them in. So you can't go that way. You have to go this way. And I'm holding it in my hand too, but that's going to be spray. You spray them and knock them back into the picture, and you start getting a wiry kind of hair. And that's the clay board as opposed to this. This is not clay board. It's the illustration board. Now I just used lighter pressure there, and I got a better result. Much better result. A little too long. I didn't want that one to be so long, but there are these in there. These little guys like this. This one here, if I could manage to put it in. They're there, but then you have to get them and knock them back into the picture a little bit, like I was saying. I got to slow down a little bit. Okay. Let's get back over here. Let's put a little bit of this kind of thing going on. Whoops. Come off of there going real fast, and then, you know. Okay, so let's do this. Just adjusting the air pressure here. All the designs inside the iris. Eventually that'll get lost. The two will be all lost together right there. Okay, so we are working on fur. And even if some of these shapes change a little bit, that's all right. I kind of have a general pattern of trying to mimic it. Sorry, guys, I'm blocking most of that. I'm sorry. It's hard, you know, when you're trying to paint. That's a highlight on the eyeball that goes off this way more. Again, the curve of my hand will come into play here. Then I can knock it back. This is where you could still do some good, you know, erasing. Pretty bright in here. So if I take the Tombow, let me just check comments one more time. Astra. Okay. Hello there. Okay, so, okay. So again, like this shape is real important right here. And because I'm on illustration board, I can put a little bit of a help in there, right? A little guide of graphite because it's black and white, and why not? Whatever works. Trying to find, but just, you know, work your way through it with the airbrush. You can lightly find your, you know, your areas you're working on as you, you know, seek out all these little areas that are, so you work, like you could start over here and go, well, this kind of is here, this shape. And then it has this nice dark area right there. And I could put that in, just doing the pencil to show you another option because it is kind of cool that you can do that with the illustration board, you know. Gives me a way to keep my design true. There's a highlight there. I went right next to it. I'll go on the side of it. You'd have to do it with the airbrush, and I'll show you how I would do that with the airbrush. If you're really trying to nail down every little thing. Okay, so right there, I've scratched that highlight, but the darkness goes around it. You don't want to lose it. So, and then of course, you know, I could take the blender. So you get a little drawing lesson too. That comes with this style. Can't do that on my color painting. You know, sure, I can map things out. Let's take that dirty end of that. I could come in here and I could do something to, I think it works on the playboard. I know it does, but let's just go up here. I could put little marks to guide me on a clean piece of clayboard, but I don't want to do that to this because these are pre-mixed colors. That's actually a color right there. It's not the white of the board. That's almost the white of the board, but, and that one of these little guys came out. So being that that came out, let's try to remove paint with the edge of the blade and not gouge the paper, because the frisket fell off this one. So I'm kind of just sanding or scraping in the shape of that design. It's kind of like when Steve paints. He uses his paintbrush, he uses different techniques combined. That would be Steve Leahy, for anybody that's watching this. Check out Steve, check out Tim, and you will not be sorry. No, you will not be sorry. So you can pull that highlight out, just removing that little overspray. Again, I'm just using the white of the board for this. The white could be there already, so you avoid color shift. That's the light mixture, which really is great to be able to have. Can take it right off. Look at that. You start seeing contrast now. You're starting to see a little shine, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Soft eraser can clean this up. Even that can go into that and cut that up. And here, the blur, you could just push it. See the blur, you get that automatically. Right here, a couple little skinny guys. That one went a little wide on me, but not done painting either. Here. Clean up around that. And just pay attention to that shape right there. Contrast, more and more that gets removed, the more it will show. These hairs up, there's a lot of fine hairs in there. They're going to be treated very carefully later on. And the edge of this is kind of, there's even little blurs that go into that a little bit. Not quite that far, but that's all right. All right, so clean this up out here, looks like. Get that other one, the new one. It's just got a little better, it's got a lot better edge on it. And I can just kind of bring them out to the edge. Some of these hairs just are all the way out to the edge, like broken through. Where am I? Right here. This is out of focus. Again, the soft eraser. A lot of those shapes. Okay. It would help if I have more in there. Again, these are the mixtures as medium. It's India ink with pre-made mixtures that Tim makes himself. when I first tried them, I was like, oh, I love this, man. It's just so fun to be able to paint and not have to focus on color at the time. So I was just really glad to have them. It flows like butter. I mean, it's just so nice, the feeling of using the inks. I'll spray over the lead, the graphite right there. Knock it back into the picture. If you have an eraser mark that you don't like, just cover it. Squint your eyes, is that this whole area in here is much darker. So I'm going to kind of sculpt that in a little bit. And then I'm going to go this way. Knock that one away. I don't like that one. See, I'm knocking some back. And on and on and on. Okay, over here. You want to blur that edge, so you just go in there and blur it by staying a little further away with the airbrush. And tight where you need it. And let the overspray hit that edge just ever so slightly. So you get that look. There's a highlight on the eyeball right here, so we're going to put, again, we're not worried about color. You go real fast when you're painting this style. If you want to go fast, you can't really help it because you're not focusing on mixing. Just a little texture I'm putting in. That edge goes away. And the eyeball melts into the spherical shape of what it's supposed to be. Here you could kind of put a little bit of tone right here on the outer part and cut in with the eraser to give yourself things that you can erase into. Working around the highlight now. Remember, I'm not using any white here. I don't want to mess with any color shifts or anything. So I'm doing it my way. When Tim can show you how to do it his way, which really works great, but that takes longer. This is a quick demo, hopefully. Black isn't even on here yet, right? So, and there's all kinds of neat things going on in here that you could break in with the eraser, go around some of these highlights you put in. There's veins and all kinds of cool things inside this iris. Here, I'm going to do that. There's a lot of weight around the edge right here. And just goes right to the base. And then you could just pull some little guys out further to create that highlight. And right along here, maybe a baby one. Whoops, I went into the black. That's all right. I got to do the black still, so. And then this has a lot of cool things going on in here. I'm just doing it quick just to give you some kind of visual noise, you know. I'll use the pencil right here just for this part. It looks like it's right about there and there. And then they get lighter. They get like not dark spots like that. And that's where the blender would come in, right here, over that pencil. You can race around it then. That's losing some of its shape, but the color around it will bring it back. Just disturbing that a little bit more. All right, let's see. Whoops, getting a little spidery there. This isn't even the black, guys. This is just the medium mixture. Whoops, that's not good. That's the corner of the eye that has a lot of highlights on it and things like that. Whoops, there we go again. That's where I want to go, right at that spot, so that's good. Hopefully, the fact that we're doing this fast like this can help just be able to deal with Pro a little bit more. Just put a little color there. That's a lot of texture goes down there. And when you see how long Tim takes to paint a painting, you'll see that you can treat these inks a whole different way than I'm doing it. But I'm doing a quick demo. And going slow get you better results too, Okay. So let's see where we're at. I'm not really looking for that. I'm not seeing that exactly, so I'm going to go to the eraser. I'm going to try to get the edge of this to put it in more exactly, because it's not that skinny actually. Looking for shapes that are similar. And I will be trying the Drew paper because he can use a dowel and everything, and I've been wanting to do that for a while now. I have a couple pieces that came in my color theory kit, so I want to get a dowel and start trying that because it's much cleaner and easier. That would be with the full-blown paint, Createx. I'm looking forward to that. Again, if it gets a little wide, like I just did there, you can just go in and, clean it up. I'm starting to make the same shapes as the original painting. Oh, that's funny. No, it's not. Meaning I'm probably taking away some of the design that I already had laid out because you start to lose it. It starts to get lost in the picture, and that's what happened the first time. So let's see, we're at 1 hour and 35 minutes, and I am going to see the chat. Patty's here. Hello, Patty. Or maybe she was here and she's not anymore because I haven't been checking the should be. But okay, so I'm getting rid of the medium mixture by turning the air way up, flushing it out a little bit. Cleanup is so easy with the inks. It's just very, it's not like paint. This is the dark mixture. Let's see if I can get something done here that needs to be done. And again, that takes building up. It doesn't just become black the minute you use it, by far. So that's the true black we want. And I'm going to have to carefully treat this. I'm going to go around that highlight right here. Hopefully I can get out of your way here. Let's see. There's a highlight on the lid. And there's a highlight on the eye. Got to make sure we get this right. Up here, it's shifted on there. Try not to kill the actual, I'll go in there careful. I could probably shift this over a little bit right here. Whoops, go slower, Bill. Yeah, that worked. Okay, so you can see how black it's going to get. Even over here, the blackness kind of just goes right over that. And then in here, the eyeball will be more spherical just by putting the right values in, right? Whoops, turn the air down. The value scale is what you want to study, and you want to study color, things like that. Understanding value is really important. So I'm going to get a shield out and use that for a little texture as soon as I find it. So let's see, I'll do the skin shield. Skin 5 shield that Drew Blair sells. You can get it at his Blair School of Realism. First, I'll get a little more darkness around here. Blair School of Realism online, and they have all kinds of things that you can buy that are just great tools to use. Okay, So what do we got here? Let's go up here and put some darks in. Got to be careful because I still might want to do some, obviously, erasing out there. Blocking it, sorry. Let's see. Whoops, too much air. I'll just block that out a little bit. Yeah, I'm probably jumping to the black way too soon to speed this up, but little hairs that are going to start popping out over there. This is where I'll use the color one just to get a value thing going on. Because the black and white gets kind of lost in the sauce. Make sure this isn't trailing. So the skin shield, I see little bits of micro dotty kind of things going on right here. I could do them like this, where I go in, get some tape. Got to get some tape out here and lift this painting up a little bit so it can be higher up for my hand. Okay. over, right around there. Okay. Let's try it. Let's try it. Maybe this one. A little too big. Right in there. There we go. I'll bring it closer. So the shield can really, because that texture's there, it's there, but you gotta be careful because you overdo it. Gotta really watch what I'm doing here because it goes out into the eye like that a little bit. And then it gets a little softer, fatter right here. Maybe a little further up, somewhere around there. It gives it kind of like a lensy kind of look, you know. Oh, that's what it is doing. Oops, I got to get away from that rough part. This is where you get that speed or get some air pressure here. Speed look kind of, it looks like it. Nope, it's trailing. Okay. If you're talking about the stencils, that's Drew's. Drew Blair's. Yep. Oh yeah. Right here. You got the little lines. You got the little, let's find it. Trying to find it. Boy, it's hard to line that up. Oh boy, I got too much airbrush. Well, that's good. That landed right on it, but the other shield he has is more accurate. Air pressure. Come on, Bill. Yeah, the black is definitely harder to puncture through, but it can do it. Better get a little braver and do it a little more on purpose, like, yeah, a little fatter. They're in there, these little guys, but there's not as many. I'm going to try to just go over this one a little fatter. Let's find another one right here. No, let's go right here and just do it the first time. Put a point on it. There's going to be a lot of them in there. I'm going to just take the pencil. I want to see if that will make sense right in there. Yeah, it works, but time saver for this. So I think of this makes me think of like color pencils and stuff like that, where people work with them all the time and very tedious, very slow moving. I don't like that one there. Goodbye. Some of them are longer than I want them, so you could just shorten them up. This would be the airbrush too. You just come in there and you can just kind of, whoops, get rid of some things, like this one. You go back in with the airbrush. The way I would do it with the airbrush is I would take a shield. Let's take like a smooth part like that, and you can hold it off the edge. Let's go this way, like that. Let's say we were trying to make that shape. So we'll do it. We'll just use it right here. Sometimes a torn piece of paper. And just spray on the shield and then off the shield, like that. And you start getting nice, controlled. So like this is to the outside, so we go like this. Like that. And then if you want something in the middle, you can use, he has the heating drill. This comes with the hair shield. So we're going to back out obviously. Okay, so say you wanted to do a nice hair in there, like that one. Just open that up, separate it a little, and spray it. Hopefully it'll go where I want it. Yeah, right there. There's a lot of those hairs in there. So let's put a few more of these. That one, this is where I could have got more accurate. This one landed kind of where it was supposed to, but it didn't land exact. But because you can open these like this, I can make this really land where it's supposed to by just getting the left side, the right side or whatever, correct first, and then just spraying through the opening with more authority like that. And that hair is that hair, you know, that one. This one's out of focus, so to take that off. So the way I would do this one is I would start it. I see the pencil drawing a little bit. I would start it at the base right there. And I would just spray it kind of, whoops, a little too wide, lightly. And almost wishing you could lift it. See, it's blurry. And then it does turn into its harder reappearing shape right at the end. So you just come back at it, line up like that, and then just find the right angle, push that in, pin it. That's even too, no, that's probably going to work. A little skinnier should work. And then this reappears right there. Yeah, smidge skinnier, but you get the idea. So then you can go into your little freehand shields, which they're all freehand shields, but freehand curves. This one really comes in handy. Let's go down here and back out. Okay, right, or sorry, man, I still can't do that right. Okay, so now we take this freehand shield. You can move along quick with this. And you could get between colors like I was just doing there. And you could block things and move things around quicker like this. Like that shape, this shape here. Make this skinnier by just spraying on the shield like that. And all of a sudden, you're going to get shapes that are needing to be picked out here. Spray a little bit and off to the side of that one like that. I hope you guys can see this. This is when things go quicker. There's another little guy right here, and he's curving this way. So you just kind of pay attention to the top and the bottom. We're going to flip it because we want the skinnier at the top. And I got to just find that shape right. I think that's good. Probably more curved, just like that. Yeah, a little lower. And then I'll just whisper it in there like that. Oops, too fat. And you get that. Things that are very hard to do with, you know, the airbrush freehand. There's guys out there that can do it. I've seen them. So what I mean by that is I can't remember his name, but this guy's so over the top freehand, painting cars and things like that. And it's like, oh man, I follow him on Instagram. He's just unbelievable. Unbelievable what he can do. There, the highlight came out a little better. So the freehand shields can start bringing all kinds of fast things in that are not here yet. Let's see, I need to protect this one, so we'll go up. like that. And then this one, I'll go down underneath and move it. Whoops, it's slipping. Like that. See that slender hair? That's the way to get these out of focus ones. The scratching on this board has not lent itself too good. It's got to be done very gingerly. The, the scratching techniques with the blade. And then the freehand in between and around and all that kind of stuff. Well, we'll try that right here. So we just take the curve and just take that out, and you get that little hair that is waiting to shine better. So that would be like those little baby hairs that are looking like they could be scratched, but they're better off doing it this way. Both sides of the shape until you get a hair out of the deal, and then just make it a skinnier hair. Okay, so we want that. Yeah. And where they're real out of focus, just kind of freehand them in. Take the inside shape here. Let's see. Where do I want this? I want that to be, nope, I want this. Looking for a shape that I need. Sometimes you just can't find them, and that might work if I do it a little bit. Yeah, might work. I probably should have stayed with the lighter colors for a while, but this is what you get when you kind of go fast. A lot of that white probably has to be put in with, because it will do what you call a color shift. So I probably could put it in, but to get it brighter, because it's not, the brights aren't showing up in this too much at all, really. Could try what Tim has, the pastel pencil. Could try that. Which I'm going to do right now. Just to see if we get a little more brighter. I don't know how it's going to behave on here, but we're going to try it. It's behaving beautiful. Okay, here we go. That one's a little rough, but let's try it in some spots. Won't cause no color shift, that's for sure. Oops. All right, so let's go after some of these baby hairs right here. This is fatter, so I'll just kind of help it along. This is a lot of weight in here. This is a pastel pencil by Pitt Pastel, Faber-Castell, Pastel Castell. Sharpener. No, I thought that was the sharpener, but it wasn't. Okay, here it is. Looks like I was whittling this one, you know. I didn't sharpen it with the sharpener. It looked like I used the X-Acto knife, but I want to get a nice point on this now. So what I'm doing is I'm using the hand sharpener. And now my pastel pencil has a lot more help. I kind of have to turn this different ways. This takes time to get there. I mean, gosh, there's a scratch mark that was too skinny. And here's a fat one right there. See over the black. I wonder if that's cutting in. It's easier to control than the X-Acto knife. Even if it is scoring into the paint, it's still giving you something nice in the darks. because a lot of these hairs are coming in, cutting through this. Lots more white in this area. Big shapes. Yeah, the black doesn't like to be erased too much. Out of focus ones are good, but not erasing hard. One there, one here. Whoops, I always make that V shape. I didn't mean to do that. Let's break this up a little. Then airbrush, you gotta go back in and airbrush. That. Otherwise, I'll have to do a correction color thing and work on it that way, which will work, I think, but it's something else altogether. They're not the same shapes. I'm going to break through that. White's in there. Well, I see some of these and I'm going to cheat. In here, I would say this gets broken open. can spray on top of this. Plus, it probably will shine otherwise too. You know, it has to be put together nicely. Because I have the illustration where I could do this, you know. Very dark looking. But this is just the lighter corner of the eye that kind of has that look to it there. It gives it a little more highlights, working with one value. This has to be skinny. And the painting that's in color, that's got viridian in it all along here. This highlight has to be made skinnier. Those highlights have to be put in, and et cetera, and so on and so forth. So now I'm thinking maybe I won't take my paint off that painting because of what I'm experiencing here. I'm thinking maybe I can make that work. I'll try that first. So I won't go so harsh and just do that. Pastel, let's see if we can clean that up a little. Some areas it won't work on. It's for just, Tim uses it just for little tiny highlights, you know, like maybe here or here, but not big areas. Just blend it up like that a little better. I'm gonna look at this. I haven't been really looking at it. It's got a lot of little hairs going this way and that way. That break it all up. Oops, that really doesn't have to be that bright. That's the nice thing about the pastel. You can just kind of mush it back down into the board. Lots of work to do in here still, but that's kind of how you treat fur. This is not a masterpiece by any means. It's a demo. And while you're working on things, you're like, oh man, why? I don't want to do that. But that's what happened. This is what came out of it. Yeah, I might try the, whatchamacallit, correction color to put in, you know, bright hairs that are fur. Because it does, the burnishing of the erasing on the board here does get a little bit beat up, to say the least. This could probably be scratched out right in there. Try it right here. Whoops, not on the right angle. Not that fat. Reappears right here. So there's some of them, and then they can be knocked back. Very bright one here that the pastel's not helping. That kind of thing slowly could take it there. Using the side of the blade. I'll be blocking it, right? All I'm trying to do is just give it more heavy removal right here. Whoops, that didn't go well. But there's a lot of that going on, so the nice thing is you can come back in and fix things. You can knock them brighties back down a little bit too. So, okay guys, let's see. Probably, yeah, I'm a half hour over anyway. So that is my little demo there. Hopefully it will help somebody. Okay, and thanks for looking. I'm going to check out of this video now. Just a little more highlight in this area, just to kick it up a notch. One more highlight here. These blurry ones can be a little stronger. So, wool furry. I hope you guys got something out of that video, and I will see you on the next video. When and where exactly, I don't know, but got to balance it between Facebook and YouTube, and I'll be uploading videos too. So keep looking in the future. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you want to be notified, hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care, and God bless you guys. Thank you. Thank you. I hope it was helpful. Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay. So I'm going to clean my airbrushes, which is going to be much easier tonight. than the painted ones. So there we go. That's it from a distance. And thanks for the, that stuff. And there's my color one. And the reference picture, which is, where's the reference picture? Here it is. There it is. So there you go. Oh boy. How about that? Isn't that great? Man. Look at that. But this can be, that I'm going to just work on this one and keep working it. Because this is not, I'm not going to do that all over. It's too much work. I'm too lazy. So I'll have fun with it. Okay, good night, guys.